Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of High School Baseball right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins joining you live from Clyde Flyer Field for today's Division 4 district final matchup between the Tiffin Calvert Senecas and the Norwalk St. Paul Flyers. And we're coming to you once again live here on your Legacy Federal Credit Union's pregame show. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State. Let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors for bringing you high school baseball right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. And once again, folks, make sure if you hear these names, frequent these businesses often, because without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you today's broadcast. Thanks to MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Ink, Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, Bookmeyer Printing, and today, a special new sponsor today, Aaron Hinchke Photography. Once again, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Thanks for tuning in here on the pregame show brought to you by Your Legacy Federal Credit Union. We do have Greg Kinn today manning the cameras down the first base side in the Calvert dugout. Greg, I know it's kind of choppy today, but can you still hear me down there?
Oh, I got you a little bit here, Nate.
All right, well, it's got a little bit of an interference here that we're dealing with because, well, we're in a different spot today than we were the last time we were here. Last time we had a pretty nice little cush setup in the press box, and, you know, it was pretty nice for me anyway. But now today, we're out here in the elements. Evidently, we weren't supposed to be there last time. We just kind of set up, and I always go by the policy. It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission, I guess. So now we learned, live and learn, and we're here setting up live outside, right behind home plate. And Greg, once again, is in the dugout over there in the Calvert dugout today. So we're just about ready for the national anthem. We'll pause for that here.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, would you please rise and join in singing of our national anthem?
Well, Greg, we made it through the national anthem a little easier than we did last time we were here. If you remember, that was a adventure last time. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on the Your Legacy Federal Credit Union. Nate Mullins here, joining you live from Clyde Flyer Field. We had a reschedule. This is a rescheduled date. That's right. Today, I should say this morning, we are here because there was supposed to be a game last night at 5 o'clock, but we have rescheduled, and we're here, and we're hoping for some clear weather here as I see some gray clouds rolling over, and my equipment does not like wetness. So I'm hoping for the best here as we get started here. We'll have Max Paul on the mound for Tiffin Calvert. Let's talk about keys to the game, brought to you by your friends at Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. Well, folks, I don't have to tell you about Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, but I'm going to. You should know already about all their great things they have to offer, and you should really know about this new menu. That's right, folks. Check out the new menu at Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. There's some really unique items on that menu. I encourage you to stop out and try the queso fundido dip. That's right, queso with chorizo. You can't go wrong. Once again, today's keys to the game brought to you by Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. Max Paul on the mound today. I think for the Senecas, you just want consistency out of Max Paul. You want him to stay in the strike zone, attack the strike zone, and you don't want him to get into any kind of trouble here. And if he does, you want to make sure that that defense is out there to back him up. So once again, consistency, I think, is a key for Max Paul. Stay in the strike zone, try to stay right around that strike zone area, and I think he'll be okay. And then for the defense today, or, for this Seneca's defense, Nick Palm kind of leads the way, but a lot of these other guys have really picked up the pace around him. You got Garrett Spawn down at the hot corner today at third, Mason Johnson fielding at first today. So you've got a lot of different options out there in the field, and they've got pretty much their best fielding alignment right here as far as I'm concerned. So you're looking pretty good, strong in the infield and strong in the outfield today. So I think, once again, your keys to the game defensively, just play sound baseball. Don't make any errors today, or try to cut down your errors. Minimize mistakes as best you can. All right, we're getting ready for the first pitch. And, of course, first pitch brought to you by your friends at TPC Food Service. That's right, folks. Make sure you talk to TPC if you've got any kind of graduation plans or any kind of big party plans. Stop by TPC and do your planning there first, because I'm sure they have a lot of deals that you're just not going to find anywhere else. All right, we're underway here as leading off for the St. Paul Flyers, Eli Fisher, who was the pitcher of record the other day, and he's going to get contact on that one. First pitch of the game goes into center field and is squeezed for the first out of the game by center fielder Caden Otterbacher. That'll bring up Thomas Bocock, playing catcher today. I mentioned Eli Fisher was a pitcher the other day for Norwalk St. Paul. He was not the pitcher of record. He was the starting pitcher, only went about 2 innings, and then they had a strong performance from Caden Maxwell, as he was our MST Sauce Company player of the game. Ooh, what a fastball there, right by him, by Max Paul. Bocock took a nice swing at that one. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. That one outside from Paul. 1-1 the count. Take a look at our Skycam perspective today, brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It. That one just inside. Skycam's just a little bit off today because of the perspective that we have. Now, we don't have the net to deal with today, so I think it's a nice view that we have, but it's just off a little bit, off to the right, so you get a little bit more of the batter's perspective, or from the umpire's perspective, if you will. 3-1 the count. Paul got ahead of the hitter, but has fallen behind here. And he walks him on 4 straight after getting ahead of him 0-1. Now they're going to put a runner on first.
Hitting third is the pitcher, number 12, Caden Maxwell.
That'll bring up the pitcher, Caden Maxwell, who came in the other day and just absolutely shut down the Stockaders. Top of the first, 1 out, runner at first. Max Paul with a long look in. That one foul tipped into the catcher's glove, but goes back. The runner will stay at first.
Yo, Max.
Throw back to first. Runner's back in safely.
Come on out. Thomas down here, kid.
You're going to have a nice perspective from inside the dugout as swing and a miss. Paul throws it by Maxwell there and is ahead of the hitter 0-2. Because Greg's got his lapel on, and he is right there inside the dugout. So you're going to have the chirping from the Calvert dugout with today's broadcast. That one misses low by Paul. 1-2 the count. Hopefully we don't have to worry about any censorship. I think Matt Coleman runs a pretty tight ship down there, so I don't have to worry about that too much, I don't think. 1-2 the count. Paul looks over to first. Comes set and the pitch. Runner's off, and it gets away from Yakel. And the runner is safely down to second base without a throw. Two and two the count. Runner at second base now with 1 out. The 2-2. Swung on and hit softly in the infield. Johnson comes on, charges it, and makes the play for the second out on the pop out.
First baseman, number 6.
Runner stays at second. That'll bring up number 66, Luke Bloom.
Hey, nothing gets through. Nothing gets through. Let's go.
Batting cleanup, playing first base today.
Kelly, ready out there? Go, Max.
Paul looks at the runner at second, comes set, and the pitch gets away from Yakel. Runner's going to advance to third now, and we'll have a runner on third with 2 out. So Bloom with an opportunity here. Runner just 90 feet away here.
Come on out. Let's go walk in here.
Bloom's just got to put this one where there's not a fielder, and he'll score the run here. 1-0 the count. Foul tipped at the plate. Bloom had the timing on that one, but was just off on the location. 1-1 the count. Max Paul's one of those guys where you want to get to him. If you can get to him early, you want to get to him now, because once he settles in, that one low, gets away from Yakel, but he's able to keep it in front of him, and the runner stays down at third base. 2-1 the count now. Yeah, because once Paul settles in, man, look out. He's hard to hit. That one swung on and fouled. Back into the catcher's glove and out. 2-2 the count with 2 down. Runner at third. Drew Coonley in the on-deck circle.
Go, Max. Winner right here, kid. Go. Come on, Max.
That one in the dirt. 3-2 the count. So he's just trying to get him to chase that one here. The 3-2 count here. Runner at third base. 2 down. The pitch. That one hit high, and it's going to be playable for the center fielder. Otterbacher camps under it and makes the play for the final out of the inning. So runner gets over to third, but no damage done. We head to the bottom of the first. No score here at Flyer Field. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Folks, if you're watching this, make sure you share the video. That's right. Share, share, share. If you are watching this, please share the video, especially while we're live, because this really helps us extend our reach. Even if you're watching this after the broadcast, after the fact. We get a lot of fans that watch the recaps of these games, you know. Saturday morning, I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there, not really a whole lot to do, so I'm hoping we got a lot of eyes on this one here, because this is a great matchup between these two schools. But, folks, if you're watching, please make sure you share, because who knows who's out there with nothing to do that if they saw it, they'd watch. So please, help us out. Share the video, and make sure you like and follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're also on Instagram and Twitter as well. So make sure you find all of our accounts. Give them a like, give them a follow, whatever you got to do. Stay in tune with Heart of Ohio Sports. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the pipeline. Greg, I'm hoping that we can make it back today before 2 o'clock, because that's when our Spectrum internet window is, between 2 and 3. So my hope is, fingers crossed, we can get this game wrapped up before 2 o'clock. But hey, the last time we were here for a game featuring Tiffin Calvert, it was almost a 3-hour broadcast. So
Hey, we don't talk about that.
We know how these Senecas like to play extra innings. All right, so let's go over the lineups for both teams. We didn't really get a chance to touch on lineups before we really got into it. Let's talk here. What do we got? For Norwalk St. Paul, we already saw their top 4. Eli Fisher, Thomas Bocock, Caden Maxwell, who's the pitcher on the bump today for the Flyers. And then Luke Bloom playing first base, Drew Coonley playing third, Ashton Stang playing left field, Jacob Stanley playing center field, Cole Maxwell playing second, and Ben Berger out in right field. That's your defensive lineup for the Norwalk St. Paul Flyers, and we'll go over the starting lineup for Tiffin Calvert in just a moment. Nick Palm leading off for the Senecas. Hits that one right into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. And Palm doing just like he did most of the regular season as he gets on board with a leadoff single. Batting average almost up near 500 on the season. Palm, I'll tell you, he's a kid you don't want to pitch near the strike zone to. He's going up there looking for anything near that strike zone, and he's gonna give it a ride. Got some pop in his bat. Now we got a leadoff runner at first base for the Senecas. And a swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Maxwell. Goes upstairs with the fastball, throws it right by Spawn. Garrett Spawn, the batter here. Spawn playing third base today. Hits that one in the air into right field. Right center. Center fielder drifts over and makes the play for the first out. Runner stays at first base. Coming up third for the Senecas, Mason Johnson playing first base today. Our MST Sauce Company player of the game from the other day. Going through the rest of the lineup, Hunter Yackel playing catcher. Max Paul batting fifth. He's the pitcher today. High fastball there as Johnson lays off. 1-0 the count. Reed Warnament playing DHing today. Harry Schultz playing left field. That one in there for a strike from Maxwell. Nice pitch there. As we mentioned, Harry Schultz playing left field. Dylan Stevens playing right. Blake Coleman playing second base. And Caden Otterbacher in center field. That one misses. 2-1 the count. Otterbacher is the one that Warnament is DHing for today, as is usually the case. High, 3-1 the count on Johnson. Johnson's got a good eye. On base percentage over 500 on the season. He's not one to swing at a pitch that's not his. He's going to make you pitch to him. And that one high, and Johnson draws a walk on 4 straight after Maxwell got ahead of him 0-1. No, I'm sorry, fell behind 1-0 the count. So evened it up at 1-1, and then 3 straight balls to put Johnson on base. Now runners at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. That one misses. Maxwell having a little location issues. He did the other day when he first came into the game as well, but he settled in really well once he got comfortable. So this might be the time to get to him if you're going to. That one dribbled down the right baseline, and second baseman fields it, bobbles it, but then able to pick it up for the out. But that one had tailor-made double play written all over it. But I think the hustle out of the box by Yackel made the second baseman rush his exchange there because he saw him getting down the line and he knew he was going to have to make a quick exchange to make that throw. Caused him to bobble it. Now you got runners on first and third with 2 outs. Bottom of the first. 2 down. That one high. Nick Palm down at third base. Hunter Yackel at first. This might be the time when they would send the runner here. Well, that one in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Nice pitch from Maxwell there. Max Paul, the batter. Pitching today for the Senecas. There we send the runner. In there for a strike, so 1-2 the count. Now runners at second and third with 2 outs, 1-2 the count for Max Paul. Maxwell comes set, the pitch. That one, soft roller down the third base side, gloved, throw, and they get the out at first. Nice play there by the third baseman to come on and charge that one to make the throw and get the final out. So the Senecas, they threaten but do not score here in the bottom of the first. We head to the top of the second. Still no score here at Flyer Field. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you live from Flyer Field here in Clyde, Ohio. Greg, let's take a look at the weather report brought to you by Phillips Electric, as I'm just starting to get a little concerned here as I take a look at the cloud coverage here. I'm like, ooh, that's really gray. Let's just hope that stays just gray and goes away and we get a little sun here. Yep, just partly cloudy, so I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking at the radar and it looks okay for now, so fingers crossed, hopefully it stays that way because my equipment does not like rain. I got to find ways to weatherproof everything before football because they're not going to cancel football games for weather, you know? Yeah, nope. Nothing on the radar. It's just a little cloudy, that's all. So we're good. We should be fine. 66 degrees, partly cloudy. It'll get up near 74. Of course, our weather report always brought to you by your friends at Phillips Electric. Phillips Electric in downtown Tiffin is an authorized dealer of Whirlpool products. Whirlpool advances technology to the point of simplicity, creating innovation that's forward-thinking, great design that fits seamlessly into life, and is truly a pleasure to live with. So if you're looking for Whirlpool, Maytag, or Kenmore products in Tiffin, or if you have any questions, give Greg and Tom Phillips a call at 419-447-3934, or just stop by 176 South Washington in downtown Tiffin. First pitch from Paul is in there for a strike. Top of the second, still no score here in this Division IV district final. That one hit right back up the middle, and it's going to go by the second baseman. So the batter will get on with a leadoff base hit. Drew Coonley coming through there. That'll bring up Ashton Stang. Leadoff single by Coonley. Brings up Stang. Hit to the pitcher. Over to first base for the first out, but the runner advances to second. So well done there by the Flyers as they advance the runner over into scoring position with just one out.
Garrett, you got to get back once you know you don't have it. 0-2-1-0. Call me. Off on a steal.
Runner down at second. One out. Max Paul comes set. The pitch. In there for a strike. Paul's got that fastball working today. So far, seems to be locating it pretty well.
Nobody. Shortstop right there. You're good.
Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there as he throws it by Jacob Stanley. Stanley playing center field today. Looking to drive one home here for the Flyers. Down 0-2 in the count. That one foul tipped at the plate. Hit right off his ankle. You'll need a second for that one. And Blue says, hey, shake it off. Come on, let's go. We already delayed this game. We already pushed it off a day. Max Paul comes set. The pitch. That one grounded to the second baseman. Coleman charges, gloves, throws, and he is out at first. And they're going to throw over to third trying to get the lead runner, but he is safe at third. So, runner down at third base with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Cole Maxwell. Maxwell playing second base today for the St. Paul Flyers. Trying not to say tonight. Just so used to it. It's this morning. Low. Paul starts him out with a low fastball there. Runner down at third. Here in the top of the second. Maxwell fouls that one off to the right. Evens the count at 1-1. Another foul. 1-2 the count now on Maxwell. The 1-2. Oh, Max Paul with a nice job to field that liner. That was a screaming line drive back to the pitcher. Maxwell did a nice job squaring up on that one, sent it right back to him. But Paul with a great reflex to snag that one out of the air and guns it to first for the final out here in the top of the second. So the Flyers threaten once again, get a runner over to third, but do not score. Left them stranded over there at third. We head to the bottom of the second. Still no score here at Flyer Field. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you live once again here at Flyer Field. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. If you're joining us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, make sure you share the broadcast and make sure you are subscribed. That's right, subscribe to us on YouTube and on Twitch. Make sure you give us a follow, and on Facebook, give us a follow and a like on our Facebook page. That really helps us get our word out there, and it helps us convince these advertisers that they want to be on board with us, folks. If you're liking and sharing and subscribing and you're getting on board, you're driving our content, helping us out, that really helps us be able to bring you more broadcasts. So if you're seeing this, help us out. Share the video. Once again, we added a new sponsor this week, or for this game specifically. Aaron Henschke Photography. Good friend of mine, John Henschke, sent me a message and said, hey, man, how do I get involved? I want to get my wife's photography business on here. And I said, absolutely. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, folks. If you see an opportunity, if you have a business, if you are a friend with a business, if you know a friend with a business, or if you have, your wife runs a photography business, or, whatever, give us a call, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to get you on.
Here comes the sunshine, Nate.
Oh, here it is. That's what I love to see. More sunshine. Bring it on. Leading off bottom of the second, Reed Warnament for the Senecas. I mentioned Aaron Henschke. Folks, all photography, I'm telling you. Couples, seniors, weddings, newborn pictures, families, engagements, any kind of photography sessions. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Maxwell. A little off-speed stuff there as he had him guessing out in front of that one. And that's right, folks, if you mention, and he hits the batter, Warnament takes one for the team there, as that one just climbed upstairs on Maxwell, and Warnament just kind of took it on the elbow and earns himself a first base. I wouldn't say that's a free base because he definitely earned that one. Took that one right on the elbow. I love it. Love it, Greg. Absolutely love it. Once again, folks, if you mention that you heard about us, if you mention you heard about Aaron Henschke Photography on Heart of Ohio Sports, get $20 off your first session booked. That's right, $20 off if you mention Heart of Ohio Sports. Nice hit there by Harry Schultz. Puts that one down into right field. It's bobbled by the right fielder, so Warnament heads up on the base paths, pushes it, and he is aggressive all the way down to third base. And now runners on first and third with nobody out. Let me see if I can get my stream deck to work again. It just seemed to stop working for whatever reason here. First pitch misses from Maxwell. Now runners at first and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. And that one in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Dylan Stevens in the batter's box. Really starting to see the ball a lot better as the season progresses. As Stevens started out the season on a 1-for-30 slump, but over these last couple of weeks has really turned it around. His batting average just over these last couple of weeks over 400. So starting to see that ball a lot better. Stevens fouls that one. Straight back. One and two the count. Runners on first and third. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there from Maxwell. Runner scampers down to second base. But
Now batting is the second baseman, number 14, Blake Coleman.
one out now for the Flyers. That'll bring up Blake Coleman. Coleman playing second base today for the Senecas. Maxwell rocks and fires. Coleman hits that one. Foul off to the right. Heads up. Hopefully there were no kids playing catch over there. 0-1 the count. Runners at second and third with one out. Maxwell rocks and fires. And Coleman got a little tip on that one, but tried to lay down the bunt and was unsuccessful there. So 0-2 the count. They'll take off the bunt sign here and probably let Coleman swing away. We'll see what he's able to do here with the 0-2 count. Coleman hits that one right side of the infield. That'll score a run. And the first baseman covers first for the second out, but the Senecas will scratch across the run. They now lead 1-0.
The shortstop, number 7, Nick Palm.
So Tiffin Calvert leading 1-0. Runner at third base. Nick Palm stands in the batter's box. Palm with a good eye watches that one. 2-0 the count now. Maxwell knows he's got to be careful with Palm here. Palm led off the game with a sharply hit single. That one misses once again. Gets away from the catcher. And Schultz, safe at the plate, scores the game's second run. Heads up base running by Harry Schultz as he saw that one get away from the catcher and scores from third base. And now Nick Palm with a 3-0 count, standing in there for the Senecas, who now lead 2-0. Palm grounds that one right back up the middle. Shortstop Fields throws and gets him out for the final out here in the second inning. But Senecas score 2. They now lead 2-0 as we head to the top of the third. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Yes, that sun is definitely coming out, at least for a little bit here. Yeah, it's going to be out for a while. So it's a beautiful day for baseball.
Say the humidity is coming out.
Yeah, well, you know, that happens. Once again, today is the Division IV district final matchup here in Clyde. Scheduled originally for yesterday at 5 o'clock. We had to reschedule the game because of weather. course, I know one person who wasn't exactly disappointed about that one. That was Jackson Sizlove, as he actually had his graduation party scheduled for 5 o'clock yesterday. I know this because Maryland stopped into MST before, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday before lunch, and made a large order, or just checking up on her large order for Jackson's graduation party, and mentioned that he wasn't going to be able to make it until later because of the baseball game. Well, that got rescheduled, so I could imagine that, while he was probably disappointed they didn't get to play, they still get to play, and he still had to get his graduation party, but he got it in on time.
Fielder number 8, Ben.
So everything worked out for the best. And here we are, top of the third, leading off for the Flyers. Well hit into left field for a base hit. Ben Berger leading off and puts that one into left field for a leadoff single. So once again, the Flyers on with a leadoff base hit. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. Runner down at first for Eli Fisher. Nobody out. Max Paul on the mound for the Senecas. Paul throws over to first. The runner is back safely. The pitch just misses. 1-0 the count. Paul looks at the runner at first, comes set, and the pitch. Low, 2-0 the count. The 2-0 to Fisher. Swung on and hit well into left field, but this looks to be playable for the left fielder. He camps under it and makes the play. Nice job by Harry Schultz to make the play for the first out here in the top of the third. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, we're live here at Flyer Field for today's Division IV District Final. First pitch misses outside and low. 1-0 the count. Blues been pretty consistent with the calls today. Outstanding crew on Wednesday. Paul comes set. The pitch. That one hit back up the middle, right to the second baseman. Coleman gloves and throws and gets the runner at first, but they move the runner over to second base. I should say on Tuesday. I say Wednesday because the game was originally scheduled for Wednesday, but we were here Tuesday, so it's been a while since we covered a game.
Went by fast.
It really did. Runner down at second base with 2 outs. I'll bring up Caden Maxwell. Starting pitcher for the Flyers. Maxwell batting third today. Paul comes set, the 1-0. Hit back up the middle, Palm, fields, throws, and he got him at first for the final out here in the top of the third. So Flyers once again get one on, but unable to scratch him across as they get him down to second base. We head to the bottom of the third. Still 2-0 Tiffin Calvert. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you. Greg Kinn in the Calvert dugout today as you hear the chirps and the sounds from the Senecas today. I'm loving the perspective, Greg, because it's a different element. You're not going to get that anywhere else, you know?
Absolutely not.
That's in-depth perspective right there. Once again, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors for bringing you today's broadcast. Thanks to MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Ink, Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, Bookmeyer Printing, and Aaron Hinchke Photography, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, new sponsor on there, Aaron Hinchke Photography. Also a couple other new ones for this week as we added Reclaim It to our list of sponsors. Of course, Reclaim It, they're not your normal secondhand store, folks, as we check out our Skycam perspective, which is brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It. They're not your normal secondhand store, folks. Each item in the store is carefully selected for display, from furniture to glassware, so much more. Make them your first stop when looking for that must-have new item in your home. If you're looking for a dresser, you're looking for a bed, you're looking for a new buffet or an armoire, whatever. Reclaim It, they're a nonprofit with a mission to help the community in various ways, including providing furniture to families in need after a fire or displaced veterans, really any people who've fallen on hard times. Your purchase goes right back into the community that you live in at Reclaim It 127. They're located at 127 South Washington Street in downtown Tiffin. Once again, Skycam brought to you by Reclaim It. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Tiffin Calvert. Garrett Spawn leading off for the Senecas. Caden Maxwell working on his third inning of work here. Falls behind the hitter, 2-0 the count. And he falls behind once again, 3-0 the count. So Maxwell having a little location issues here as we start the bottom of the third. And he fires that one in there for a strike. I think Spawn had the red light on that one. That's Coleman just saying, make him throw you a strike. Maxwell rocks and fires. The 3-1 is slow roller back to the pitcher. Maxwell comes off and fields it, throws over to first for the first out here in the bottom of the third.
First baseman, number 34.
That'll bring up Mason Johnson.
Hey, let's go, Mason. We go, kid.
Come on, Johnson, let's go! Go, Mason. Come on out, kid!
One out here in the bottom of the third. Johnson fouls that one straight back. Took a nice rip at that one.
Hey, let's go. Come on now.
I'm trying something different here, Greg. I'm trying to play producer here. I'm going back and forth, so we'll see if it works. Nice well-hit ball into center field, and that one's going to be caught by the second baseman who drifts over to make the play. Actually, it's a shortstop. My apologies. So shortstop drifts over to make the play. And that is the second out here in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Hunter Yakel.
Number 10. Hunter,
You hear that? If we win, the whole team can come to Luke's house and get pizza. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Start it here. Now we're ready.
First pitch in there for a strike from Maxwell. Rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Maxwell. He gets ahead of this one. 0-2 the count on Yakel.
Don't drop those hands. Come on, Hunter. Let's go. Stay low, Hunter.
And Yakel fouls that one back. 0-2 the count. On the season, Yakel was a .268 hitter, .373 on base percentage. That one hit down the third base side. Third baseman gloves, throws it over, and gets the final out here in the bottom of the third. So we head to the top of the fourth. Still 2-0 Tiffin Calvert. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you live from Flyer Field for today's Division IV District Final matchup between Tiffin Calvert and Norwalk St. Paul. Senecas take a 2-0 lead into the top of the fourth. I want to take this time to remind you of one of our legacy sponsors. That's right, your Legacy Federal Credit Union has been part of the community for 70 years. 70 years. Can you believe that, folks? They're a member-driven financial cooperative and they're delighted to provide a personal touch to an often impersonal industry with a focus on respect and member satisfaction while caring for your financial needs. Stop at Your Legacy, located at 25 Schaefer Park Drive in Tiffin. Your community, your legacy. Federally insured NCUA. Of course, Your Legacy was our pregame show sponsor. Make sure you stick around for the postgame show, brought to you by another one of our fine community-minded sponsors, First National Bank of Sycamore. A couple of great financial institutions in this community. I don't need to tell you that, but I should, and I'm going to. Because, folks, you shouldn't already know. I'm telling you, if you're going shopping for a new car, don't just go to the dealership. Don't just go straight to the dealership and start looking at cars because they're going to try to talk you into whatever deal they can make the most money on. All right, what you need to do, go get pre-approved first. And when you're doing that, you need to shop around. Find different banks, go talk to different banks, and the first stops you should make, go into Your Legacy Federal Credit Union and go into First National Bank of Sycamore. Those are your two local financial institutions where I personally recommend you stop both of those places before you stop anywhere else and compare the rates, because I'm telling you, folks, you're going to find most of the time you're going to come right back to these local institutions because they're the ones that are, not only are they the best rates, but they're also the most willing to work with you. So, once again, thanks for their support here and bringing high school baseball to all of you. First pitch is in there from Max Paul. A little bit bigger strike zone here as Luke Bloom comes up to the plate. That one grounded right to the shortstop. Palm gloves and rockets it to first, but it's in the dirt, and Johnson unable to field it cleanly. Well, I think that one's probably going to be a throwing error as Johnson, that was going to be a hard play for him to pick out of the dirt there. So, not very often you see that play from Palm. Usually it's a rocket throw right into the glove. He doesn't throw very many one-hoppers. So, runner down at first. Top of the fourth, nobody out. Top of the fourth. Flyers with a runner down at first. That's Luke Bloom. Max Paul with the pitch. That one skied right to the second baseman. Blake Coleman gloves it for the first out here in the fourth inning. Nice play by Coleman. Hey, the sun disappeared for a second. Now my equipment will get some breathing room.
Yeah, now the camera's not burning me.
I know. You should feel the Roadcaster right now. It is like hot. I had to hide the internet because last time that thing got hot, it just straight shut off. So at least I know that's safe. First pitch fouled back. Ashton Stang, the batter. Batting sixth, playing left field tonight for the Flyers. Today, this morning. The 0-1, grounded, in between third and short. Nice hit from Stang there, as now Flyers with runners at first and second with one out. Nicely done there by Ashton Stang. Just took what the pitcher gave him and just kind of hit that one right in between the fielders at third and short. I tell you, if Johnson was just a couple inches taller, or I'm sorry, Spawn. If Spawn was just a couple inches taller, he probably would have had that one. But if he's a couple inches taller, ooh, Paul hits the batter now to load the bases with one out. As that one got him right in between the shoulder blades. Of course, if Spawn was a couple inches taller, he'd probably be going to Ohio State. With his athleticism and the way he plays the point guard position. Max Paul comes set, the pitch, and that one hit foul down the right side and out of play. And luckily, well out of anyone's reach. Must have been a warm-up ball in the outfield. 0-1 the count. That one hit into center field. Should be deep enough to score a run. Otterbacher will launch this one for home plate right to the catcher. Oh, play at the plate. He got him. What a throw by Otterbacher. Wow. What a gun from center field as he guns him out at the plate. Right on target. Boy, you haven't seen a throw like that all year, have you, Greg?
That was insane.
Wow, what a play by Caden Otterbacher. Final out as he doubled up the runner at home plate. Should have been deep enough to score a run, but man, just so close at the plate.
Oh, and they're hyped down here now.
Oh, they should be hyped. That's a heck of a play by Otterbacher. What a throw. And a great play by Yakel as he caught that one in midair and came down quick with the tag. Wow. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Still 2-0, Tiffin Calvert. Caden Maxwell on the bump. This will be his fourth inning of work here. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, let's thank our sponsors for bringing you today's broadcast right here on the pulse of the Buckeye State. Thanks to MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Inc., Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, Bookmeyer Printing, and Aaron Hinchke Photography, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, make sure you give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever you got to do. Help us get the message out there by also sharing this video, folks. Share, share, share. Takes 2 seconds, won't take you away from the broadcast. You'll be right back at it. Bottom of the fourth, leading off for the Senecas, Max Paul. First pitch in there for a strike. As Paul, once again, an extended strike zone there, got that one. It looked a little bit high, but I'll tell you, with him stretched out like that, he's a tall drink of water. And that one is fouled off to the right, so 0-2 the count. As Paul falls behind here in the count. Max Paul on the season, a .222 hitter, .367 on base percentage. Slow roller to the mound. Pitcher had a little trouble fielding it, but able to gather and throw it over to first for the first out. No problem. One out here, bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up Reed Warnament for the Senecas. Last time he was up, he took one to the elbow. And he ended up scoring the game's first run. That one in there for a strike. Nice off-speed pitch there by Maxwell as he dropped that one right in. The 0-1. Ornament hits that one foul. Not sure where it went. It went somewhere. Skycam once again brought to you by Reclaim It 127. That one hit up the middle to the shortstop. It eats him up, and Warnament's going to beat out the. There will be no throw as Fisher just wasn't not able to gather before the runner made it down to first base. So Reed Warnament on with a one out. I would say that's a error. I wouldn't think that would be a base hit because Fisher just unable to field that one cleanly. And they'll bring in Otterbacher to run for Warnament as he was the DH. So Caden Otterbacher will come in as the pinch runner here. Harry Schultz now at the plate for the Senecas. Schultz on the season, .231 hitter with a .339 on base percentage. Maxwell comes set. The pitch. Schultz hits that one right to the shortstop. And he gloves and throws it over to first, but Otterbacher back safely. They had him leaning there. That was a soft liner there. And Fisher, gloved, almost got the runner out at first on the tag up there. So runner down at first base with 2 outs for Dylan Stevens. That one in the dirt. Otterbacher going to make it down to second base safely without a slide. I swear, Greg, I think Caden Otterbacher's grown 2 inches since basketball season. I really do.
You never know.
I mean, the kid is so tall now, and I don't think he was that tall in basketball. Senecas have a bright future here, as he's just a sophomore. And you have Blake Coleman in the on-deck circle, just a freshman. That one fouled straight back. In there for a strike to even the count at 2-2. So 2 down. Runner down at second base. 2-2 the count on Dylan Stevens. The pitch. That one grounded right to the second baseman. Charges, gloves, throws, and that is the final out in the bottom of the 4th. Well done by Caden Maxwell. We head to the top of the 5th. Still 2-0 Tiffin Calvert. Max Paul coming out now for what will be his 5th inning of work. Let's see if he stays in the game as the pitcher. We'll see where he's headed here. He will indeed stay in the game as he's working on a gem right now. Had a couple runners in scoring position, had a couple times the Flyers threatened, but Max Paul's done an outstanding job so far here in this one. 5th inning stretch time here. Well, in between these 2 innings, the 2 halves, I guess, what you want to call it. 5th inning, 7th inning, whatever. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. I want to tell you about one of our proud sponsors here on the Pulse of the Buckeye State. I'll give a shout out to Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Inc., SSG Inc. That's right, folks. Did you know that they're more than just a print shop? They're more than just a screen printing shop. That's right, they're a team store. If you're a fan of any of these local teams, Calvert, Columbian, Hopewell, Seneca East, Cary, Old Fort, New Regal, any of these local teams, go into Steinmetz, and I'm going to bet money she's got something in the store for you. Even the local colleges, Tiffin University and Heidelberg, they both have stuff in store, in stock, so you don't have to order anything. And they most likely have your size. And if they don't, well, talk to Katina. She'll take care of you, and most likely she'll find something that'll work or make something work for you. They're your one-stop local shop when you're talking about screen printing in Tiffin. First pitch misses high, and we're underway here in the top of the 5th. Ben Berger standing in the batter's box for the Flyers. Count now even at 1-1. That one grounded foul at the plate. 1-2 the count. Skycam Perspective brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It 127. It's located at 127 South Washington Street. Max Paul rocks and fires. The 1-2. Swung on, hit well down the left side. That's going to stay fair. Fair ball down the left field line. And Schultz will come up firing, but a leadoff double for Ben Berger as he's now 2 for 2 on the day. Berger's had a couple of hard hit balls. And now, Flyers with a runner on second with nobody out. That'll bring up Eli Fisher. The shortstop leading off for the Flyers. That one gets away from the catcher. Yakel will come up, and the runner moves down to third base. Gets away from the pitcher, but Palm wisely there to back up the throw. And I'm going to have to calm it down just a little bit as you got a runner down at third base now with nobody out here for the Seneca. So Fisher just going to have to get this one deep enough or on the right side of the infield possibly to score a run here. Berger's got some speed down there at third, so. That one hit into left field. This one should be deep enough. Schultz comes up, firing, hits the cutoff man. They throw to the plate, no play at the plate. First run of the game for the Flyers is across. It is now 2-1. Flyers get their first run of the game, and the Senecas pick up the first out here in the top of the fifth. So now nobody on. Paul can kind of settle down here. Or is this a chance where the Flyers will rally? Berger seems to have been the trendsetter for this team. He's gotten the motivation. He's got the momentum going here for him. This one hit foul down the third base side. Thomas Bocock, the batter for the Flyers. The 1-1, outside, 2-1 the count. The Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes will also be in action today at 1. We will not be able to make that trip as it'd be quite a trip to be able to make from here to Bluffton before 1 o'clock. Throw over to first, and that's the second out of the inning as Blake Coleman does a nice job there from the second base position, coming on, charging that one, and gloves it and throws it over to first for the second out. That'll bring up Caden Maxwell. Maxwell, the pitcher, now with just a little bit more comfort as he's not facing a 2-run deficit, just a 1-run deficit here, but a chance to give himself a little bit more breathing room here as this one hit well into right field, but Stevens comes on to make the play and squeezes it for the final out here in the top of the first. But the Flyers, they scratch across the run. They draw closer. Seneca still lead 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Nate Mullins, Greg Kinn joining you live here at Flyer Field. That's Clyde Flyers Field, spelled with an I, not a Y. Another one of our community-minded sponsors I've just got to tell you about, folks. Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. They're a staple in the Tiffin community. But have you checked out their new menu items? I've told you about them in the Keys to the Game. I told you about the new menu, and you need to check it out. But have you seen this new one they've got? I keep talking about it, and if you haven't tried it, I'm telling you, step outside of your comfort zone. Give it a shot. It's called the Ohio State. It's got chorizo, chicken, and grilled onions wrapped up in a flour tortilla, a big flour tortilla. And then they put queso over top of that. And they put bacon on top of that. And then they throw some grilled pineapple on that, baby. Oh, I'm telling you, you got to give it a shot. It's called the Ohio State. It's got a picture. That's what drew me to it. I went out there a couple different times, and I'm like, it looks good, but I don't know if I want to do that because, I don't know, pineapple and Mexican food, I don't know. But I'm telling you, if you haven't tried, you have to give it a try. Once again, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, one of our proud sponsors here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Also, don't forget about them. Any of your catering needs, if you've got a big party coming up, if you've got a graduation party coming up, you've got any kind of celebration going on this summer, weddings, anything you can think of, give them a call. They do taco platters, they do nacho trays, chip trays, all that good stuff. Once again, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant in the Tiffin Mall. Blake Coleman with a nice hit up the middle to the second baseman who turns, gloves, throws, and gets the runner at first. Nice play at second base. And a nice stretch there by the first baseman to pick that one. Second baseman Cole Maxwell with the play there, backing up his brother. Some kind of relative, I would assume. They look very similar, so I hate assuming anything, but that's got to be they got to be some kind of relation. First pitch in there for a strike to Nick Palm. Nobody on, one out. Palm hits that one well into right field. That's going to drop for a base hit, so he's got himself on again. He's now 2 for 3 on the day. And the Senecas have a runner on first with one out. That'll bring up Garrett Spawn. Two to 1 Tiffin Calvert here in this district final for Division 4. Runner off. Throw down to second. Palm in there safely. And now the Senecas with a runner in scoring position with one out. Spawn hits that one back up the middle, right past the pitcher. Shortstop gloves and throws to first for the second out, but Senecas do move a runner over. Now they have a runner at third with 2 outs. That'll bring up Mason Johnson. There's our best friend, the sun, again. First pitch in there for a strike from Maxwell as he starts off Johnson with a low fastball. Johnson hits that one right back up the middle. Shortstop gloves and throws, and they got the runner at first on the tag. What a play by Luke Bloom down there at first. A little pirouette there as he's able to get the runner and save a run for the Flyers there, as that one would have scored a run had he not get that runner down at first, but great play by Luke Bloom to save a run. We head to the top of the 6th, still 2 to 1, Tiffin Calvert. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you live from Clyde Flyer Field here in Clyde, Ohio. Take a look outside, folks. What do you see? You see green. You know what that means? Flower shop season. That's right. Flower shop season is in full swing. Stop and see Brian today. Check out their new line of candles from the Swan Creek Candle Company. At Rodgers Flowers, you're sure to find what you need for that special someone in your life. They truly are your one-stop destination for all of your special occasion needs. Max Paul will be coming on for now his 6th inning of work for the Senecas. As the Flyers were able to get to him last inning, they did scratch across the run. They've gathered some momentum here as they head into the top of the 6th. It was a great inning there defensively as well, as they were able to get the runner out at first on the tag, despite the throw being a little bit off target there from Fisher. Once again, top of the 6th here. Speaking of Luke Bloom, he'll be leading off for the Flyers. I want to remind you about one of our shows we've got here on Heart of Ohio Sports, Mulling It Over. That's right. You heard it, Mulling It Over. That's our morning show from 8:30 till 9:30-ish. I usually say just starts at 8:30. How about that? Starts at 8:30, Monday through Friday. This week, we're hoping to be live in studio all week long and on time. So we'll bring you some on-time live interviews from inside the studio. That's studio squared as we get set up and get everything ready to go for football season. Also, don't forget, we've got mulling it over Monday through Friday at 8:30 in the morning, but we also, the Pulse podcast coming to you this Monday. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0 the count. Top of the sixth, 2-1 Tiffin Calvert. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Paul. 1-1 the count on Bloom. Bloom took a nice rip at that one. That one just outside by Paul as he tried to get that curveball to break inside. 2-1. Bloom sends that one a shot into left field, well hit. And Schultz comes up firing. He'll hold him to just a single there, but a well hit ball by Luke Bloom gives the Flyers a leadoff base runner at first base. I'm not sure what he's saying. I thought he was looking at me, Greg, and saying something, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, not quite sure who he's looking at here. Flyers have a runner down at first with nobody out. And that one fouled back off the catcher's mask. 0-1 the count. Runner at first is Coonley. Standing in the batter's box now. I'm sorry, Jacob Stanley down at first. It's Cole Maxwell in the box now. No, that's not Stanley. .26. That's Alex Weaver down at first base, a pinch runner. Drew Coonley up to the plate now for the Flyers. 2-1 the count on Coonley. Paul checks the runner at first. Comes set. The pitch. Just outside. 3-1 the count now. Paul, I think, a little bit more worried about the runner down at first than the batter at the plate here. Just got to settle down here. Flyers looking to start another rally here. That one in there for a strike. Full count now on Coonley. The 3-2. Hit well into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. Gets past the right fielder. He comes up throwing down to third. But runner will be in safely at third base, so runners at first and third now with nobody out for the Flyers. And that'll bring up Ashton Stang. Stang, the left fielder, comes up now with runners on first and third with nobody out, and we'll get a call to the bullpen. Call to the bullpen, of course, brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Once again, runners on first and third. We got a mound visit. I don't think this is going to be a pitching change here, as Paul, I mean, he's been doing a pretty decent job here today, shutting down the Flyers up until last inning. But now, it's a crucial situation here. You got runners at first and third, nobody out. How are you going to deal with this? If you're Matt Coleman, To bring the infielders in here as nobody out. This might be a situation. The Flyers did an excellent job the other night of bunting against Isaac Snyder. They are really good at bunting, so it might be one of those situations, Greg, where maybe they just lay down the bunt here, try to suicide squeeze this guy in.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Once again, runners at first and third, nobody out. The pitch. Grounded foul off to the right. They're starting to get contact on Paul. That's one thing. We saw quite a few swings and misses in the beginning of this game, but as the game continues, they're starting to see that ball come out of his hand a little better now that we're 3 times through the lineup here. The 0-1 from Paul. That one misses outside, evens the count at 1-1.
Go, Hunter, come on.
One and one the count, top of the 6th. Paul checks the runners, comes set. The pitch. Fouled at the plate, 1-2 the count. Stang had it timed up there. So if I'm Paul, I'm throwing some off speed here. Something off speed, get him out in front. The 1-2 in the dirt, gets past Yakel, and the runner will stay at third. So you'll have runners at at third and second base now. As the runner from first scampers his way down to second. Nobody out, both runners in scoring position now for the Flyers. And a 2-2 count here with Ashton Stang at the plate. Ball comes set, the 2-2. Hit back up the middle. Palm comes home with it. And play at the plate, no. Gets away from the catcher. A runner is out at third. As they tried to force the issue, for some reason the runner did not get back quick enough to third base. He kept trying to force that, and they got caught. It wasn't really even a rundown situation. The runner was just, I think the catcher was just trying to look him back to third, and he wouldn't get back. He just kept trying to put the pressure on. Before long, Yakel just threw it down there, got the runner at third. So they waste an opportunity to possibly, the go-ahead run was there at third base. Now it's at second base, and they've got one out, only one on. Game is tied at 2, though. Flyers tie it up here in the top of the 6th. What a ball game here. Swing and a miss. Paul throws it by him. And now Stanley down 0-2 in the count. The 0-2, low. Nice eye by Stanley there. 1-2 the count on Jacob Stanley.
It's yours to win, Max.
Come on, behind the salt.
Here we go, Chad.
Runner down at second, one out. The 1-2 from Paul. Hit down the third base side. Paul Spawn with a nice snag. Throws it down to first to get the second out, but the runner will advance down to third base. Aggressive base running there by the Flyers as they now have a runner 90 feet away from home. That is the go-ahead run down there at third base. But 2 outs. As Paul potentially with a chance to get out of this inning with just the 1 run scored after getting runners on first and third with nobody out. It would be a small victory here for Max Paul if he's able to get out of this. Hit well down the left side, but foul. Maxwell took a nice cut at that one. That's Cole Maxwell, second baseman. Paul comes set. The pitch. This one pops straight back. 0-2 the count. Now on Cole Maxwell. Oh, 0-2 the count. 2 down. Runner at third. The pitch. Ooh. Catcher with the call down to first to see if he went. Now looks back at the blue and wants to know, was that high or low or what? Because that looked like a really good pitch, but it missed. I think it missed outside on that one, so he's got to find more of the plate if he wants to get that call. Fouled off to the left side. Count stays at 1-2. Go ahead run, 90 feet away down at third base. Tied 2-2 here in the top of the 6th. Chopped foul once again. Maxwell putting together a nice at-bat here. Still down 1-2 in the count, but he's battling.
Let's go.
1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Maxwell. Runner at third. 2 outs. The pitch. Ooh, he held up on that one. Nice job by Maxwell. Evens the count now at 2-2. This is one of those at-bats that'll just frustrate a pitcher, and that's a wisely called timeout right there by Matt Coleman. Because he's in the middle of at least a 7-pitch at-bat right now with Maxwell, and he is just fouling off every pitch around the strike zone. He's battling. So as a coach, you're coming out, you want to talk to your guy, and you would tell him, hey, just throw a strike. Get this one in the strike zone, get it low where he can't do anything with it. Even if he does hit it, it's going to be on the infield. Once again, call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Stop by and see Brian today for all of your special occasion needs. Pick yourself up one of those beautiful hanging flower baskets they have out front. And I think we're going to get a pitching change in the middle of a count. You don't see that very often. I think there might be something Paul is dealing with here as far as injury-wise. He might have motioned towards the dugout for that.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like before that last pitch he made a little motion to the side. Something's up there.
Yeah, so you don't see that very often, pitching change in the middle of an at-bat, but Max Paul dealing with something there as he made the call to the dugout, and they come in and make the change. So you'll have Nick Palm on the mound for the Senecas. The University of Findlay commit. Palm on the season as a pitcher. 30 and a third innings pitched. He has a 2.08 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and just 12 walks in 30 and a third. He has allowed 22 hits, but just 9 earned runs on the season. He's 3-2 overall. Boy, with those numbers, man, he had to have been right up there for SBC River Player of the Year with Ashton Bohr. That had to have been a hard vote if I'm one of those writers voting for that award.
Right.
Him and Ashton Bohr right neck and neck for that. Had to be. But here Nick Palm comes in for Tiffin Calvert now to try to save this one from getting out of hand. 2-2 the count. And Palm comes in to a live situation here, facing a 2-2 count on Cole Maxwell. Palm, the pitch, in the dirt. So 3-2 the count now, full count on Maxwell. He tried to get a waste pitch there, just get him to chase something, but Maxwell, really disciplined approach at the plate. He's got a good eye. He's not going to swing at something that's not his pitch. Hit well into left field. Left fielder retreating. Back at the wall. It hits the wall. Game go-ahead run will score. And Maxwell into second base now with a double. So the Flyers take the lead 3-2 on an RBI double by Cole Maxwell. Three to 2 Flyers now. Runner at second base. And that'll bring up Ben Berger. Berger, the right fielder. The left field was playing in on that. All the outfielders were playing in on that. Maxwell just gave that baby a ride. Off the fence there. And there was nothing really that Schultz could have done in that situation.
That's the far side fence, too.
Yeah. And it's a short field out there, 320 to left field. That one in there for a strike. Finds the strike zone with that one. 2-1 the count on Ben Berger. Time called as Yackel wants to talk things over with his pitcher. Three to 2. Flyers now leading on 3 unanswered runs here as they have captured the momentum here in the bottom or in the top of the 6th. That one skied back behind me and straight back behind the bleachers. Luckily, I didn't have to bust out my fielding skills here because my equipment would have been in danger. Let's just say I don't have the bare hand snags that Coach Coleman or Coach Swanigan had, as we've seen this year. That one hit into center field, but Otterbacher will camp under this one and make the final out here in the top of the 6th. So the Flyers scratch 2 more across, and they now take the lead 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 6th. St. Paul captured the momentum. Can the Senecas get it back? We'll find out. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins, Greg Kinn manning the cameras down on third base side in the Calvert dugout. Another one of our fine community-minded sponsors, Molyet's Farm Market. Folks, have you ever been to the garden center there? The farm market is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but the garden center is open. We talked about Rodgers Flowers with your, one-stop destination for all of your flowers and special occasion needs. But when you're talking about Molyet's, I mean, you could spend an entire day going through the store and the garden center because there's just so much to look at. Now, it's that time of year, so if you've got anything you want to get planted, they have you. They got you covered. Trees, shrubs, assortments of plants, anything you can think of, they've got it in the garden center. And you can find some of those items that are just hard to find and truly unique inside the store. They have a great cheese selection, fresh produce from local sourced produce, And also, like I said, beautiful outdoor garden center. I mean, you really could spend an entire day looking at all the things they have to offer. Stop in and see the folks at Molyet's today, and please tell them Heart of Ohio Sports sent you out there. I know it's weird. I know it's awkward. You're probably not going to be walking around in the store going, oh, how do I tell somebody that I heard about this? Just literally, while you're checking out, say, yeah, I heard about you guys on Heart of Ohio Sports. We're watching the baseball broadcast, and somebody said, come on out and see us. So that's why we're here. You will not believe how much impact that has with local sponsors. So please, folks, if you hear these community-minded sponsors on this program, tell them where you heard it. Tell them that you appreciate their support for local high school baseball. Bottom of the 6th here. Caden Maxwell on for his 6th inning of work. This will be the 3rd time through the lineup for a lot of these guys getting a look at Maxwell here. Who's really gotten into a groove since allowing those 2 runs. Yakel skies this one into center, right center field, and the center fielder will make the play for the first out.
Now batting number 15, Max Paul.
Max Paul coming up now for Tiffin Calvert. Maxwell rocks and fires. That one high. 1-0 the count. Looked like a little bit of off-speed stuff there from Maxwell. That one misses once again. 2-0 the count. And Paul fouls that one off. 2-1 the count. The 2-1 from Maxwell. Boy, that had a bend on it right there. That was a nice off-speed pitch. Froze up the batter there. And evens the count at 2-2. Paul fights that one off foul, and it looks to be out of play. Nice effort there by the first baseman, second baseman, and the right fielder to give it chase. But just out of play. Once again, your Skycam perspective today brought to you by your friends at Reclaim at 127. Two and two the count on Max Paul. Nobody on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. I'm getting my son today, Greg. Sporadically. That one misses. 3 and 2 the count now. I think that was a makeup call for the one that Paul missed on earlier. The 3-2. This one fouled at the plate. And it stays a full count. It fouled right in front of the plate and then rolled foul. High, and he walks him.
Now batting number 9, Reed Waterman.
So Reed Warnament will come up now for the Senecas here with a runner on first and 1 out for Tiffin Calvert. Max Paul down at first. Reed Warnament steps into the batter's box.
Mace, don't blow your hand. Here we go. Let's go, Ray. Come on now.
Warnament. Well hit ball right past the shortstop. That'll make it into center field for a base hit. Boy, he smoked that one. Nice effort by Fisher there. He got up the elevator shaft, but just not quite tall enough to get to that one. You know, those shortstops, usually they're not the tallest guys out there. They're more the athletic types. And he's just, if he would have been just 2 inches taller, he'd have had that one. I'm telling you. It was right there, right over his glove, Greg. That was an attempt. I mean, great attempt by Fisher.
Great effort there.
Really. And he saw it well off the bat. He knew he had a shot at it. It was just so close. Runners at first and second now with 1 out. We've got a call to the bullpen. Of course, call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Stop by and see Brian today and check out their selection of the new Swan Creek candles they have in there.
Just the name alone makes me want one of those.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they have a wide selection of different varieties of candles. So stop in, check them out, and make sure you tell them we sent you in there. Harry Schultz, the lefty.
Now batting left fielder, number 2.
Stepping into the
Gary
batter's box now for the Senecas. Schultz playing left field today. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Senecas need a rally here. That one in there for a strike. Maxwell rocked and fired that one in.
Come on, Harry, let's go, kid. Let's go. Hey, anyway on.
The 0-1. Schultz hits this one back up the middle to the shortstop. They glove, throw to second. They get 1 out at second, but no play at first. That'll put runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Right fielder, number 3, Dylan Stevens.
That'll bring up Dylan Stevens, right fielder. Maxwell now working on his 6th inning of work here. Working his way through the lineup. Stevens took a chop at that one, but swing and a miss, and a 1-1 count now for Maxwell. Runners at first and third, 1 out, 2 outs. 3-2. Norwalk St. Paul with the lead. Throws it right by Stevens. And the runner scampers down to second base, so now runners at second and third with 2 outs. And Dylan Stevens with a chance to be a hero here for Tiffin Calvert if he can put this one out of reach of any of the fielders here. Outfielders playing shallow here. Stevens grounds that one off to the right.
Hey, hands ready, Billy. Hands ready.
1-2 the count on Stevens. 2 down. Runners at second and third. The pitch. That one fouled straight up and almost hits the press box. Thought that was going to be a nice little wake-up call for Deb up there. I told her I seen her in the press box. I said, I'm going to miss you, but you're probably not going to miss me because you're going to have a little more room up there. 1-2 the count on Stevens. Maxwell comes set, the pitch. Hit right side, down the right side line. That's going to be foul, just barely foul. And the runners will go back to their respective bases. That was just foul. Maxwell comes set. The 1-2. In the dirt. 2-2 the count. Stevens has even the count now. The 2-2. Fouled once again. All right, Stevens is staying alive here in this at-bat. Putting together an outstanding at-bat here. And he's got to be frustrating Maxwell. Because Maxwell thought he had him out a couple different pitches. He threw a couple of nice pitches, and Stevens is just spoiling him. The 2-2. High. So Dylan Stevens has worked the count full now. And now full count, 2 outs. First base open here. What do you do? The 3-2. Strike 3 called. What a pitch by Maxwell to get out of the jam and keep the Flyers in the lead. That was a heck of a pitch by Caden Maxwell. Pressure-packed situation there, and he gets out of the jam. We head to the top of the 7th, still 3-2, Norwalk St. Paul. Take a look at our Skycam perspective, brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It 127. Let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors for bringing you today's broadcast. Thanks to MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Inc., Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, Bookmeyer Printing, and Aaron Hinchke Photography, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State. Pitching change for Tiffin Calvert as Nick Palm only had to face 2 batters, and actually 3 batters. So now Mason Johnson comes in for the Senecas as he looks to keep this a 3-2 game and give the Senecas a chance in the bottom of the 7th. Once again, a 1-run lead for the Flyers as we head into the top of the 7th. Norwalk St. Paul doing all the scoring here in the 5th and 6th innings. Of course, make sure you stick around for our postgame show brought to you by First National Bank of Sycamore, where we'll talk about our player of the game brought to you by MST Sauce Company. Of course, first pitch today was brought to you by your friends at TPC Food Service. Did you know that for 75 years, TPC Food Service has been serving Tiffin, Ohio, and providing quality product and service to food service operators in Northwest Ohio and the surrounding area? Family owned and Ohio proud. Contact them toll free at 800-342-0477 today. TPC Food Service, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. Another one of those first stop destinations if you're planning any kind of big party or big graduation event or anything. Stop by TPC, see how they can save you some money. And if you're a business, if you're a restaurant business in the Tiffin community, you should be doing some business with fine folks at TPC Food Service. First pitch from Mason Johnson, skips in there in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Eli Fisher leading off, top of the 7th here for the Flyers. In the dirt once again. 2-0 the count to Fisher. Johnson rocks and fires. That one in there for a strike. 2-1 the count. Johnson's got some life on his fastball. He can hit high 70s. Got some pop coming out of his hand. And that one low, 3-1 the count. He does have some issues with control, usually right off when he first comes into the game, but he's one of those guys just like Max Paul. He likes to settle in. Once he settles in, gets that location down. But struggles a little bit in that at-bat and walks the leadoff batter, Eli Fisher, who stands now at first base.
The catcher, number 10, Thomas Bocock.
Thomas Bocock, the batter. Runner down at first for the Flyers. In there for a strike from Johnson. Gets ahead of the batter here. Johnson checks the runner at first. The 0-1. In the dirt. Yackel with a throw down to second. And he got the runner at second. It got away from the catcher, and he still had time to pick up the ball off the ground and throw the runner out at second base. What a play by Yackel. Must not have been a very good jump there down at first from the base runner. Maybe he might have stumbled or something. I didn't see exactly what happened, but he's a fast kid. He got a good jump, I thought, but just unable to make it down to second base. So the first out of the inning comes on a throw out from the catcher down to second. Now 2-1 the count on Bocock. That one fouled. 2-2 the count. That one low, 2-2, 3-2 the count. So full count now on Bocock. The 3-2. That one low, so he's walked his second straight batter now. And that'll put a runner at first with one out.
Now batting is the pitcher, number 12, Caden Maxwell.
Caden Maxwell, the pitcher, strolls up to the plate now. Johnson takes his time to gather himself on the mound. 1-0 the count, runner at first. Here in the top of the seventh. One out. The pitch. Just outside there. 2-0 the count. Johnson was our MST Sauce Company player of the game the other day as he really came in and shut things down for the Senecas against the Chieftains the other day. But today, having a little control issues here as he's fallen behind Caden Maxwell, 2-0, and walked the first two batters he's faced here. Let's see if he can get this one in there. Well hit ball. This one's going to drop for a base hit into left field. Schultz comes up with it and fires it into the infield, but runners on first and second now with just one out.
Luke Bloom.
That'll bring up Luke Bloom. Bloom had a nice base hit the last time he was up. One out, runners on first and second. The pitch in the dirt, gets away from Yackel. He comes up and no throw as runners will scamper down to second and third. So it takes the double play out of the equation now. Somewhat. 1-1 the count on Bloom. The pitch. Well hit. This one's going to drop. That's getting down for a base hit. Both runs should score here. And the Flyers will tack on to their lead. They now lead 5-2 here in the top of the 7th. What a hit there by Luke Bloom as he comes through in the clutch for the Flyers here. Still 1 out. And now Norwalk St. Paul leading 5-2. 5 unanswered runs here for the Flyers. That one in there for a strike. Johnson fires that one in. Once again, today's Tiffin Columbian game will not be broadcast here on Heart of Ohio Sports as we just don't have the extra equipment or extra guys to make that trip in time. That one fouled straight back. Oh, and 2 the count. Just outside there. 1-2 the count. Drew Coonley, the batter, facing a 1-2 count. In the dirt, 2-2 the count. Runner on first, 1 out. Flyers now leading 5-2. That one fouled, straight back, 2-2 the count. Two is high, so Coonley works the count full. Johnson, you can see the frustration on his face right now. That one fouled, back and off to the right. Still full count at 3-2. Coonley working on, once again, an outstanding at-bat here. This is the 7th pitch or 8th pitch actually coming up here. So, strike 3 called, outside corner. Coonley stopped. He stopped and it stood and stared in disbelief as I don't think he agreed with the call, but that was a great pitch by Johnson. Another well-hit ball. Palm with a play at short. Diving stop by Nick Palm to end the inning. But the Flyers scratch across 2 more. They take a 5-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th. It's going to take some magic for the Senecas to come back here as we head to the bottom of the 7th. 5-2 now, Norwalk St. Paul. Leading off for Tiffin Calvert will be Blake Coleman. And then you'll have the top of the order. Nick Palm, Garrett Spawn. So Senecas with a chance to make something happen here, but they've got to start putting the contact on the ball. Caden Maxwell looks like he's coming out to finish this one off for the Flyers. Sometimes it amazes me with these high school pitchers. I mean, this kid was out here on Tuesday. He had to throw over 80 pitches on Tuesday, and then he's back out here again today. I mean, pitching a complete game, acting like nothing. The strength of these kids, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's just unreal. But they know what they got. They got a heck of a pitcher in Caden Maxwell. He was our MST Sauce Company player of the game the other night against Old Fort. What an effort by the Flyers here today as they were down 2-0 and have come back and scored 5 straight runs here to take the lead into the bottom of the 7th. Same thing they did against the Stockaders the other night. They were down 3-2 in most of that game, but end up coming back, winning 7-3. Could be the story of this one as well. Blake Coleman trying to change the outcome of this, as he's got to try to find a way to work his way on here, leading off, bottom of the 7th. First pitch is high, 1-0 the count. This might be a instance where, maybe the coach might have a short leash for Maxwell here, as with the 3-run lead, you're going to let him go out there and see if he can locate, but if he's having some problems, if he's not out there locating, maybe you might give him that short hook and bring somebody else in. We'll see what the call is here. He's falling behind the hitter now, 3-0, and he's looking like he's starting to labor a little bit as we start this top of the 7th. A little bit of fatigue may be setting in here for Maxwell. Once again, 4 straight pitches. He puts the leadoff batter on base. So the Senecas, a little bit of magic here. We'll see what they got brewing as they got a runner down at first with nobody out. And once again, here's a call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. And let's see what the call is here, because you got the coach coming out. And I think the pitcher's pleading his case here. He's saying, let me finish this. Let me finish this. I got this, coach. I got it. And that's exactly what's happening here. Coach says, get it. It's your game. Go out there and get this win. Great job by the coach there as he comes out and talks to his pitcher. Instill some confidence. That's what you want. Go out there, talk to your guy, put some confidence in his head. Because you could tell fatigue maybe setting in a little bit, but realistically what really happened there is he just got frustrated. 3 straight balls, and then that last one didn't make the strike zone, and you can tell frustration was on his face. Coach would come out and make the call to come out and have a talk. But that first pitch now low. Skips that one in there. So 5 straight balls to start the the bottom of the 7th here for Maxwell. Palm laces that one into right field. It'll drop for a base hit. So now Seneca's on first and second. Nobody out. And that'll bring up Garrett Spawn.
Number 16, Garrett Spawn.
Come on, Chief! Come on!
And the coach is just going to let him finish this one out, so Maxwell stays in the game after walking the first batter and giving up a base hit. That one foul-tipped by Spawn. It goes to the backstop. 0-1 the count on Garrett Spawn. In the on-deck circle, Mason Johnson stands. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th. Spawn hits this one. Second base side. Gloves, throws, and they get the runner at second, but runner is safe at first and third.
Now batting, number 34, the pitcher, Mason.
So runners on first and third for Mason Johnson here. And the lefty, righty on lefty matchup. Greg, one thing I know, Mason Johnson, he loves to give these balls a ride. He's got 4 home runs on the season, and he's got a short porch down there in right field. Anything in the strike zone, I'm telling him, swing away. He had a good swing at that one, but fouls it off as he was just a little bit ahead of that pitch.
Had the right idea there, though.
I think he's just trying to give this one a ride and see what he can get out of it. 1 out, 0-1 the count. Runners on first and third here in the bottom of the 7th. St. Paul leading 5-2. Maxwell comes set. The pitch. Low. 1-1 the count. This is now the 4th time through the lineup for some of these guys. They've got plenty of chances to get a look at what he's got to offer. And that one well hit. That's going to drop for a base hit. A 1-run will score. Runners at first and second. Now 5-3. St. Paul leading. Mason Johnson with a clutch 1-out hit, and they're going to leave Maxwell in the game, it looks. Senecas are teeing off on him right now. They're seeing the ball coming out of his hand real well. I think he's looking at the dugout saying, all right, maybe he might have been right with that call. Maybe it is time. But he's going to stay in. Gutsy call here by the coach. He knows what he's got in his pitcher. He's got a great pitcher on the mound in Caden Maxwell, and he has no doubts whatsoever in the call here. So 5-3, St. Paul leading. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Maxwell comes set, the pitch. That one's high. 1-0 the count on Hunter Yackel. Max Paul standing in the on-deck circle. Pressure pack situation here. Yackel hits this one. It's gonna, the second baseman is unable to make the play. All runners will be safe, bases loaded with just 1 out. And now Maxwell's looking into the dugout right. I seen him motion to the dugout like, okay, come on, it's time to make the change. You got the second baseman saying the same thing. I think they're all saying it's time. And here comes the coach here. Call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. So the bases are going to be loaded for whoever's coming into this game. Not exactly the most ideal situation to come into for anybody. 1-out situation, bottom of the 7th, bases loaded. This is a pressure-packed situation to bring somebody in a relief situation here. What a ball game here. Division IV district final matchup here at Clyde Flyer Field.
It looks like he's staying in, Nate.
And Maxwell staying in the game. Boy, I tell you what, this coach has all the confidence in the world in his starting pitcher, and that just speaks volumes about the confidence that he has in his guys. If you're Caden Maxwell, you gotta have that's gotta feel like a boost of confidence right now, knowing your coach has your back. Hit right back up the middle, base hit, Paul! 1 run will score, Godfrey's gonna push, he's going to the plate, 2 runs will score, tie ball game! We're tied at 5 apiece! Runners at first and third, 1 out! Wow! My apologies for that Rodgers Flowers bulletin there. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, what the heck, I want to watch the game. Well, you got the call. Sorry about that, folks, but we are tied at 5 apiece. And I tell you what, if they end up, if the momentum stops here and they get an out, maybe I might switch that Rodgers Flowers bulletin back on. Who knows? All right, so tied at 5 apiece.
Go, baby. Come on.
Seneca's working on some magic here. Caden Otterbacher standing in the batter's box, and they're just going to put him on. So they'll intentionally walk Caden Otterbacher, who on the season has just a total of 3 plate appearances. That'll load the bases for young Harry Schultz. So just 1 out, bases loaded situation, and Harry Schultz at the plate, and you've got Caden Maxwell on the mound still. This is his 7th inning of work. He's got to be up near 100 pitches in the game. I mean, it's a hard situation to be in right now if you're Maxwell. But you can do this. You can shut him down and clamp this down and pick up this last 2 outs. Get out of this situation. Well, you'd be a hero. Nice pitch from Maxwell. He gets that one in there for a strike. Tied at 5 apiece. Runners on first, second, and third. They are loaded up with just 1 out. That one hit foul off to the left side. 0-2 the count on Harry Schultz. So Maxwell, in this situation, what's your best pitch? Throw it by him right here. 0-2. That one skips in the dirt. 1-2 the count, so a waste pitch from Maxwell. The bases are juiced. Runner's got a good lead. Swing and a miss. What a pitch by Caden Maxwell. And now that was such a huge pitch, a huge out for Caden Maxwell. As now there's 2 outs with bases loaded, a much more favorable situation for the defense here. That was just, huge. You can't get much bigger than that. When you're talking about a pressure situation for your pitcher to come through for you right there, that was huge. Tied at 5 apiece, 2 down, bases loaded. First pitch is high. 1-0 the count on Dylan Stevens. That one low, 2-0 the count. So 2-0 on Dylan Stevens. Bases are loaded. 3-0 on Stevens. And now time called by the catcher. Wisely done there by Bocock to call that timeout. Come out, talk to your pitcher, calm him down. Say, we got this 1 out to get right here. Let's get this out. Let's get out of this situation. Just calm down, get 1 out. You can get 1 out here. That's a great call by the catcher right there. Call time, 3-0 count. Go out there, collect your pitcher.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't pay me to handle this kind of pressure.
Oh, man. Whew. The 3-0. That's the ball game! The Senecas win on a bases-loaded walk from Maxwell. And that's the ball game. The Senecas, with the magic in the bottom of the 7th, win the Division 4 district title here in Clyde. What a ball game by the Senecas and the Flyers, and what a treat for all of you to be able to tune in for this one. This was a great ball game right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, your final score, Tiffin Calvert 6, Norwalk St. Paul 5. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after this. We've got the postgame show coming to you live on location from Clyde Flyer Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. All right, folks, they are now presenting the runner-up trophies for the district final. Let's see, second place in districts
Number
here.
66,
And then
Luke
soon they
Will.
will be presenting the championship trophies for the district final winner. Tiffin Calvert with a big win over Norwalk St. Paul, 6-5. And
Number
it took all
4,
7 innings,
Luke
folks. That's
Will.
right. We went all the way to the bottom of the 7th before we could decide a winner, as Tiffin Calvert able to take care of business. And they pick up a district championship
Number
here
5,
at
Ashton
Clyde
Chang.
Flyer Field. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on the Postgame Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Sycamore. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn joining you somewhat live.
Number
Well, we're
25,
live, but-
Jacob Stanley.
Jacob Stanley was just announced as one of the St. Paul Flyers as one of our runner-ups here for today's
Number 2,
district
Cole
final, as I'm
Maxwell.
trying to talk and get things set up here at the same time, so I'm saying some nonsense here. Sorry, folks. I'm like just saying what I'm
Number
hearing
8,
here. All right,
Ben
so
Berger.
what a ball game. Greg, this was exciting from start to finish, as
Number 21,
both
Nolan
teams,
McCall.
boy, they really brought it today. And as we were sitting here off air trying to figure out who we want to make
Number
our
26,
MST Sauce Company player of the game and all the good stuff that we're trying to figure out post game. Now I'm trying to figure out
Number
what's
99,
next for the
Jacob
Senecas.
Olcott.
Wow.
Because, wow,
You know, I thought, honestly, Nate, I thought this was going to be a repeat of the Old Fort game where you saw St. Paul turn it on real late in the game and squeak by with a victory.
Number 6, Dan
But, you know,
Vaughn.
The Senecas, they kept that energy up. They had a different mindset there at the end of that. When I heard them say, the kids came into the dugout and they're like, it's just 3 runs, guys. It's
That's right.
just 3 runs.
that's right. So they had a completely different mindset there as they started that 7th inning.
That's
Number
something I haven't really
15,
seen a
Kevin
lot
Preston.
from them during the course of the games that we've covered this year. Like, I mean, they've had good energy, but just it was something different today.
Oh, I could tell because I kept having to turn your mic down over there because they were getting pretty loud. But what a ball game from both clubs as the Flyers. I mean, 5 unanswered runs to take a 5-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th. And you know, Greg, I said right before we were about ready to start that bottom of the 7th, I said it's going to take some magic for these Senecas to come back. They're going to need something here.
It really was magical.
Assistant coach
And they get the first
Jim
guy
Brown.
on board with a 4-pitch walk, Blake Coleman. Then the next guy comes up, Nick Palm smacks a single into right field.
Just beautifully placed balls.
Runners on first and second, nobody out. Then they get an out, so they get runners at first and third with just one out.
Assistant coach Ryan
But then from that point on, Caden Maxwell had pitched a dynamite game to that point, but I think really fatigue started to set in and it became a factor at that point. And, you know, I was
see it.
wondering, when are they going to make a pitching change? You know, is this going to be the time when they should make a pitching change? Because, you know, they had the lead. It was 5-2. With the one out, they just basically, they got that one out at second base, but that would have been a great time to make a pitching change. But instead, they came out and they just wanted to give him a boost of confidence. And I understand that call. As a coach, completely understand that. You've rode this guy. You've rode with him. He's obviously your ace. You've gotten this far because of
Right.
pitching performances from him.
And he just came up a couple pitches short
That's
of
really what it
doing
was.
his job here again today. But that's the point there, Nate, is you got to pull him out before those couple pitches.
Yeah, and I really feel like, you know, at a certain point, you know, with runners on first and third, one out, that would have been a great situation
Number
to
1,
bring in another guy as a reliever or as a relief pitcher.
Now they're giving some of the
Now here we have the
medals
district
out here?
champions being crowned here,
number
giving out their
2,
medals.
Harrison Schultz.
Jameson Godfrey, now Harrison Schultz.
Number 3,
Picking up his
Dylan
medal.
Stevens.
But no, at that point, I thought it was a great time to make a pitching change.
Number
Because
5,
if you're
Ethan
asking a
Schultz.
relief pitcher to come in, you don't want to put him in the most pressure-packed situation. That would have been a situation where they had just come off getting an out.
Right.
They still had a 3-run lead.
And the bases weren't loaded.
And the bases were not loaded. And you ask your pitcher to come in, and basically you want a double play ball to end the game. You know, you want a ground ball. Even if you give up a run, you could still pick up an out, and then you're in a 2-out situation.
Number 11,
It just didn't
Jackson
happen for him,
Seifels.
you know, and they left Maxwell in the game, and you could tell fatigue started to become a factor for him.
right, and it's
towards the
hard
end of the
to
game.
it's hard to speak on that when we're not the coach and we're not the player.
For
but,
sure.
But yes, you could definitely tell that his facial expressions had changed. That you could
Number
tell the
15,
fatigue was there,
Max
but
Paul.
maybe the little bit of worry because he knew what he had to do and how immense the pressure was in that moment.
Garrett
Absolutely. So once again, final score, Tiffin Calvert 6, Norwalk St. Paul 5. And this one came all the way to the bottom of the 7th in order to determine this one because it was 5-2 Norwalk coming into the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, what a way to end this one. I mean, to be tied up there, bases loaded, and then you get the walk to send them on home for the score. I mean, just I could tell by the excitement in your voice, Nate. It's just a great way for a game like this to end when you knew, we saw St. Paul versus Old Fort and how close that matchup was. We saw Cary and Hopewell and how close that matchup was. So we knew today, you even kind of joked about it, that Calvert likes to play extra innings. And I thought, oh my goodness, Nate, here we go. We're going to be tied up at 3 or tied up at 5, and we're going to go into extra innings because it did take magic, and that was the kind of magic you didn't foresee coming. I really didn't foresee them maybe tying the game up, sure, but taking it and go ahead and walk off with the score, I didn't see that one coming at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the stats from this game, thanks to Deb up in the press box for allowing me to kind of copy her notes here. I'm looking at these stats, and there's not a whole lot of that really stands out. A lot of singles, a lot of small ball. These Senecas really, all across the board, it was a team effort. But the one guy I think that stood out to me, Max Paul, came in, he was a starting pitcher today, went almost 6 innings. Then, had a little bit of an injury issue. I don't know what happened, but he had to they had to come off the field.
If I had to guess, it looked like he was just getting fatigued.
Yeah.
5 innings is no joke to be pitching.
For sure. So, but Max Paul comes in at the end of the game and comes up with the clutch hit to put them in a tie situation. Now, at that point, it was 5-3. He comes up, bases loaded, gets a one out single into right field that scores 2 runs. And then allows the Senecas to tie the game at 5 apiece. And that, I think, was your signature moment of this game. And for that, I think I'd have to give him the MST Sauce Company player of the game.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Nate. A great signature moment in the game, not to mention all the hard work he put in. Those 5 innings, great pitching here in this contest. I'm going to give it to him, too. I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, once again, your final score, 6-5. Tiffin Calvert moving on with a big win. And, moving on to regionals. Absolutely.
I like how they came up to give us a little shout out
on
the camera before they turned around there.
Absolutely. Once again, your final score, 6-5, Tiffin Calvert. And I'll tell you, man, it's been a blast covering these teams this year. But these Senecas, talk about surprise and, just not expecting what we were seeing here today. I didn't expect to be here today, Greg. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect with this Senecas team when the postseason started because
it was kind of an up and down roller coaster season.
It was, absolutely. Yeah. And they had trouble really finding their identity early in the season. But I think as this season went on, you saw some of these younger guys really start to develop and gain confidence. I think that's the key thing for these young guys is confidence. You had a senior-heavy lineup last year. You guys like Nick Seifert. You had guys that really played a big role on this team last year. But, when you're talking about this year, you need guys to step up. Mm-hmm. You need guys to fill those roles that were filled by senior leadership last year. And you've got guys like Garrett Spawn, who took 2 years off baseball, hadn't played since his freshman year, comes in as a senior this year and wants to be a part of this. And not only is he a part, but he's a contributing part, and he's a huge factor in why they're able to win ball games this year.
I have to agree, Nate. I think the confidence is key here. A lot of these games where you watch when the team goes up a couple runs, it's easy to get that confidence to build it up, and you just play differently when you have that kind of confidence. But like I said, at the end of this one, when the chips were down, they still didn't lose that confidence, and that was all the difference maker. Like I said, they came in and said, it's just 3 runs. It's just 3 runs. And, man, that mentality, that's the reason they're standing here the winners today.
That's right. All right, once again, your First National Bank of Sycamore post-game show. Let's talk about our player of the game. Once again, brought to you by MST Sauce Company. Today's player of the game, Max Paul. That's right. Max Paul comes through with a clutch, 1 out, 2 RBI single to tie the game at 5 apiece. He also came in and pitched a dynamite performance all the way through 6 innings. I think he had only allowed 1 run. So, this is a great performance by everybody on the Senecas today. Another guy stood out to me, Reed Warnament. He had a hit by pitch, he had a walk, and he made it on base a few times today. But it's guys like that basically say any way possible, any way possible, get on base, make it happen. And that's why the Senecas are where they are. I really feel like that's part of the reason why, they are playing for a regional championship next round, because they basically say there's not one guy on this team that's going to be the star. It's going to be an entire team that comes together and that's why they're able to move on.
Yeah, it seems like almost every game we cover, somebody else has the good game or whatever. Everybody has a good game, but, the more times you hear somebody's name be called, it tells you what kind of a day they're having.
That's right. Absolutely. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Your final score, 6-5. Tiffin Calvert moving on to the regional round as they pick up a district championship here in Clyde at Flyer Field. Thanks again to Greg Kinn for manning the cameras today. Thanks again to the staff here at Clyde Flyer Field for the hospitality.
I say thanks to the clouds for making me not sweat too much today.
Yes, and thanks to the clouds for also not pouring on us today because, we had to deal with rain the last couple of days, but we got this one in today, folks, and it was a beautiful ball game, beautiful day for baseball, and we can't thank you enough for tuning in. Make sure you share the video. Share on all of your various social media outlets. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a like and a follow, and make sure you share the video. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that little subscribe button. Also like the video, and make sure you share it on Twitch as well. Give us a follow, and then find us on Twitter and Instagram. That's going to do it. For Greg Kinn, I'm Nate Mullins signing off. Thanks for tuning in here on the First National Bank of Sycamore postgame show. Once again, your MST Sauce Company player of the game, Max Paul. Congratulations to the Senecas on their district championship and moving on to the regional round in Division 4. Once again, thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. That's going to do it. Have a great day, everybody. Get out there and enjoy yourselves. It's beautiful. No excuses. Have fun. See ya.